Gauteng's been hit by a second earthquake in a month. Now, the 3.8 magnitude earthquake hit at 1 o'clock this morning west of Orange Farm near Johannesburg. For more on the story, we're joined by the manager of the seismology unit at the Council for Geosciences, Grobbelaar. Michelle, thank you so much for your time this morning. Firstly, is this something that researchers could have predicted?
I wouldn't say predicted as such. What we know is that this is a level, or this is an area where we do get high seismicity. In fact, 90% of our seismicity in the country is concentrated around the mining regions. So I wouldn't say we could predict it, but however, we're not surprised that we have got another earthquake in this particular area, because we've had many earthquakes, and we've had a couple of earthquakes of this size and even bigger in this area in the past. So we expected that we could continue to get earthquakes in this area. So it's not something, however, we cannot predict. So we were not surprised, but we could not predict when an earthquake can happen.
Now, Michelle, given what happened earlier this month, particularly in Orkney, there is attention being paid to the earthquakes or the slight tremors that we're experiencing in Gauteng. Is this a concern for you, considering that this is an area that you're quite knowledgeable about?
I wouldn't say we're concerned about it. However, one thing that we would like to do, which we are in fact doing, is we're working together with the city development people and also disaster management. And what we want to try and do is, we cannot prevent earthquakes. So what we would like to try and do is to help to mitigate the disaster afterwards. So we're working together with them in order to identify hotspots, especially in the urban areas where the population is of course more denser. Identify these hotspots so that we can then look at the building codes and see if we can't adjust the building codes, maybe even identify if there's any sensitive structures in those areas, to just try and make us more resilient, maybe is the correct word, so that people don't, or their structures don't get so badly affected.
Now, Michelle, I'm interested to know, in terms of the actual size of the earthquake, why is it that there always seems to be a difference in number to what perhaps the local Council for Geosciences estimates to the US Geosciences?
Well, that's quite it's quite a normal phenomenon. What we see on their website at the USGS is a location that has been automatically processed. So in other words, it's machines. It hasn't yet, as far as I'm aware, been analyzed by a person. So because this is an automatic one, the locations and the magnitudes are always going to be a bit slightly out until a human eye, because nothing beats really a human eye. So until a human eye then looks at it, reanalyzes it and verifies it, it will be a little bit out. And what we've noticed on the 5th of August is that once the people did, or the analysts at the USGS started looking at this event, we noticed that the event did start to become more like the magnitude and the location that we got. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is also the stations that they use are further away from the earthquake than the ones that we use to determine our magnitude and location. We, for instance, have got a dedicated network in the Carletonville region, and our stations were right next to the epicenter. So the data that we get from our stations is a lot more accurate than what they have. But one will notice, if you carry on watching the USGS website, you will notice that that magnitude and the location will probably change, because they are now verifying or reanalyzing the automatic location. Unfortunately, automatic locations are not perfect. We have not. Even in Japan, they also have a whole team of analysts that check their automatic locations. There is not a computer program that can equal the abilities of a human analyst.
All right, that was Michelle Grobbelaar, manager for the seismology unit at the Council for Geosciences.
You deserve to know more. eNCA.com